In the previous tutorial, we have seen the theory of how RabbitMQ works and what are all the uses of RabbitMQ and what is messaging queue and how RabbitMQ works on the concept of messaging queue. Today in this tutorial, let's go ahead and code to create an exchange, to create a queue and exchange messages between different microservices using RabbitMQ. So we need a few prerequisites. First one is we need to install Erlang. So basically Erlang is a programming language which is used to build massively scalable soft real-time systems which requires on high availability. Basically Erlang is a programming language similar to Java. So to run RabbitMQ you need Erlang support, which is kind of a JDK to run Java program, something like that. Let us go ahead and install Erlang in our machine. Okay, so go to a browser. I'll just switch to incognito mode. Erlang download. So go to this Erlang download page. So the current latest version is 23. So if you are using 32-bit machine, use this one. Otherwise, you click on the 64-bit machine. Currently, I am downloading in Windows machine. If you are using Ubuntu and if you are using Linux or Mac, there are different ways you can install. So those instructions will be given here. So now, as you can see at the bottom, Erlang is ready to download. So I have downloaded and installed Erlang in my machine. There is no extra steps to be taken care while installing. It is similar like a normal software which you install on Windows. Okay, I have already installed in my machine. I'll just discard it. I'll show you. Right click task manager and you can see under the process Erlang is running. So once you install it, it will start running. Okay, erl.exe. Now we are done with the first step. Next step is installing RabbitMQ in your machine. So to do that, this is also very simple, similar to Erlang. Just go to browser, RabbitMQ, download. So if you go to RabbitMQ website, you can see different servers from where you can download the RabbitMQ. So I'll go ahead and download on Bintray. You can download using a GitHub. Just click on the Windows installer, or you can use Bintray. So just click on Windows installer, it will start downloading. So I have already downloaded and installed RabbitMQ in my machine. So it is similar way how we installed Erlang or any other software in your machine, Windows machine. So no extra steps to be followed to install RabbitMQ. Okay, so now our machine is installed with Erlang and RabbitMQ. Let us see what to do next. Okay, now our RabbitMQ is installed in our machine. So to see what are all the exchanges and what are all the queues which are running on RabbitMQ server, we need some console, right? So a visual implementation like a web browser, a web page, so that we can monitor everything. So when you install RabbitMQ, the RabbitMQ server starts running. You need not have to start explicitly. So, but the thing is, to enable web console, you need to follow few steps. It will not be enabled when you install a RabbitMQ server in your machine. Okay, to do that, what you have to do is you have to go to the sbin folder of RabbitMQ. Where your RabbitMQ is installed, there will be a folder called sbin. You have to go to that location using command prompt. Once you go there, you just have to type in this command to enable the web console. Okay, let us go ahead and do it. So I'll just minimize this as of now. So this is my command prompt, and inside D drive install softwares, I have installed the RabbitMQ server. If you have not given any explicit mapping, so it will be directly installed into C drive. As of now, I have installed in D drive. Okay, go inside sbin, just copy this and D colon, as I am in D drive, I'll just navigate to this particular folder I have given. So as you can see here, now I am in RabbitMQ server sbin folder. Okay, so once you are in sbin folder, then what you have to do, you have to run this command, which is RabbitMQ plugins.bat enable RabbitMQ management. Let us go ahead and do it. So RabbitMQ, I'll just keep on typing tab so that I reach the RabbitMQ plugin. So now RabbitMQ plugins.bat enable RabbitMQ underscore management. Once you hit enter, it start enabling your web console. Okay, it says enabling plugins. So just wait for 10 to 15 seconds. So now the web console for the RabbitMQ is enabled. So how to check? Let us go ahead and see what to do next. Once the management console is enabled, then what you have to check whether your RabbitMQ server is up or not before you go and check the web console. Okay, so usually what happens is when you install RabbitMQ server, it will immediately start the server. If it is not started, then here is a command to start. Be in the spin directory and just hit this command so that RabbitMQ server will be started if it is not already started. Okay, so to check the console, the default port for web console for RabbitMQ is 15672. See, as you can see here, HTTP localhost 15672. So basically 15672 is a default port for web console in RabbitMQ, and basically 5672 is default server port. Okay, this is web console port and this is the server port. Let us go and type in localhost 15672 in our browser. Okay, I'll open the browser and I'll say localhost : 15672. When you hit enter, you will be prompted with one login page. So let us see what to do next. So once you see the web console, then you have to enter guest and guest as a default username and password. Okay, let us go ahead and type in guest and guest, QST. When you hit enter, you will be taken into the RabbitMQ web console, wherein you can see a lot of configurations and what are all the exchanges are there, what are all the queues are there, and what are all the connections, and what are all the how the messages are exchanged. Everything you can see from here. So this is a basic view of the RabbitMQ web console. Here, as you can see, there are 7 exchanges currently active. One is direct, fan out, headers, topic, etc. I think I have explained in detail what are all these exchange types and all in my previous video. If you have not gone through it, please go through it to understand how RabbitMQ works. Okay, so these are all the default ones. You can use these default ones or you can create your own exchanges. Okay, and currently we don't have any queues as of now. We'll start creating the exchanges and queues. Okay, so now we are done with the installation of RabbitMQ and our RabbitMQ server is up and running. Okay, let us go ahead and see what to do next. So what we'll do, we'll create 4 different Spring Boot projects. First we'll create message sender, and then we'll create user 1, user 2 and user 3. These are the normal Spring Boot projects. So let us go ahead and do one by one. Okay, so let us create a Spring Boot project called message sender. Okay, so just minimize this. So here is my Spring Boot tool suite. I'll create new project, Spring Starter project. This message sender is my project name, and I'll be adding Spring Boot DevTools dependency, Spring Web and Spring for RabbitMQ. This is the important dependency for this course. Let's click finish. Okay, now our message sender project is created. I have to update this project with RabbitMQ configurations. Okay, first what I'll do for the message sender, as we discussed earlier, I'll be changing the port as 8080 and few of the configuration which the message sender requires to connect to RabbitMQ we have to update in application properties. Okay, I'll just change it to server.port is equal to 8080 I'll use it for the message sender as we discussed earlier. So for the RabbitMQ properties, first thing you have to update is spring dot rabbitmq dot host. You have to update the host is equal to, as we are working in localhost, I will use the same. Second thing is spring dot rabbitmq dot port. We have to update the port. As I explained earlier, I'll change the pointer options. So as I explained earlier, this is the port number for web console and this is the port number to connect to RabbitMQ. So I will be using this 5672. 5672. And the next thing is username and password we have to update. So username is guest, password is guest. So this is the application properties update for connecting to RabbitMQ. Okay, just save this and project clean. And don't worry about the error here, so it will show sometimes. So let us go ahead. Once we are done with the message sender, we'll be doing user 1, user 2 as well as user 3. User 1 with 8081, user 2 with 8082 and user 3 with 8083. Let us go ahead and create 3 more projects with the same configurations. So this would be user 2, this would be user 3. So basically same configuration for all the 3. Okay, so now we are done with the user 1 and user 2 and user 3 configurations. Let us go ahead and update the application properties. Okay, so the same configuration except the port. As I said earlier, user 1 will be updated with 8081 port and user 2 will be updated with 8082. This is 8081 and this is 8082. In the same way, user 3 will be updated with 8084. Sorry, 8083. So let's control A, 8083. Okay, now we have updated all our projects. Let's close this as of now. So let us go back to slide. What we have done, user message sender we have updated. I just change the pointer. Message sender we have updated. User 1 we have done. We are done with user 2 and user 3. Okay, let us go ahead and create exchanges and 3 queues. Okay, let us go ahead to first and create an exchange. So create an exchange. So basically exchange will be done at the sender end. So what happens is when you run this exchange, when you run this message sender project, the exchange will be created in RabbitMQ server along with the queues. Okay, we'll see how it happens. Just right click. I'll just create a class called RabbitMQ config. So I'll mark it with @Spring Boot application. Let us create a exchange. Okay, so public of type exchange and I'll change it to exchange. Okay, so you can create like new direct exchange or fan out exchange, something like that. Or you can, what you can do is you can return, there is a one class called exchange builder dot. So what type of exchange you want? Direct exchange, fan out exchange, header exchange, or topic exchange. So let us go ahead and first create direct exchange. Okay, I'll name it as direct exchange. Okay, so now we are done with creating exchange. This import we have to do. Please note that import it should be from Spring framework.amqp.core. You have to import this. Okay, so one more thing I forgot, dot build I have to do, as we are returning a new exchange type. So now we are done with the exchange. You have to mark it with @bean so that Spring container will get to know where the exchange bean is. Okay, let's save this. We'll go back. What to do next? Once we are done with the exchanges, let us go ahead and create three queues. First queue I'll be creating is SNG queue, HFG queue, and BFG queue. These three will be queues I'll be creating now. Back. So in the same way we created exchange, we have to create the queues. Public queue, I'll say sports queue. Okay, so I'll return queue builder dot. So what type of builder you want? Durable builder or non-durable builder? So let us go ahead with writing the durable builder. So durable queue. So you have to give the name for the queue. So for this queue I'll give SNG queue, sports news group queue. Okay, once you are done with it, let us say build. Fine, queue we have to import it from the same package. So now we are done with one queue. I'll mark it as @bean as usual. So let us go ahead and create three other queues. Sports queue we have created. Now we are left with Hollywood queue and Bollywood filmy group queue. Let's change it to Hollywood queue, and this should be Bollywood queue. And you have to use the queue name here. What is the queue name we have created? Which is HFGQ and BFGQ. Okay, we'll go back. HFGQ and BFGQ. Okay, so now we are done with creating exchanges and creating beans. Okay, this is what we have done, creating exchanges and creating queues. Now we have to bind these queue with the exchange what we have created. Okay, we'll go back, we'll write another method to bind it. So public binding bind exchange, which is what we have created, with SNG queue. For each queue you have to create separate bindings. Okay, SNG queue, you can give any name for this method. So I'll just annotate with @bean, and binding I have to import it from Spring framework. Okay, return binding builder. So basically binding builder, you can use bind method. So what is the queue you want to bind with? Sorry, to which one? Which exchange you want to build? So basically this has to come from parameter here. So I'll say queue. So you have to give the same name as this method name, because it will take the name binding. The Spring container sees the sports queue and the sports queue, then binding exchange method will think the sports queue has to be binded with the exchange which we have given. So what is the exchange we have given? The same method name we have to give, exchange. So what we are doing now, we are binding sports queue to exchange with a routing key. Okay, what is a routing key? I have explained in my previous tutorial. These are all the routing keys, a unique key for this particular queues. Okay, as you can see, sn.gq.rk. So we'll use the same routing key here, s.n.gq.rk. So now it is binded dot q. Now once we are done with it, I think binding we are missing something. Let's see what is the error. So basically what happens is you have to mention what type of exchange here, because we are using the direct exchange here. The same type of exchange you have to use. We cannot use this exchange. Okay, you have to use direct exchange. Now it is done. We have binded this exchange with sngq queue. In the same way we have to do it for other three queues. I'll just copy paste. So I'll mark it as HFGQ. What type of queue it is? Hollywood queue. I have to mention. I'll just copy and paste Hollywood queue. It is direct exchange, same thing. So the routing key what we have mentioned for the Hollywood queue, which is h.f.gq.rk. We will give the same h.f.gq.rk. Okay. In the same way we'll do it for Bollywood queue as well. So instead of H, I'll change B. Instead of Hollywood, I'll change Bollywood, and the same will be passed to this method. So basically when the Spring container starts and a request is being sent to create an exchange, then exchanges will be created in the name of direct exchange, and different queues will be created along with the router keys which I have mentioned. Okay, so now what we'll do, once we are done with the configuration, so we have created exchange and we have created the queues. Let us go ahead and send a request to exchange. To do that, I'll write one controller class home controller or message controller. This is simple REST controller. Hope you know how to create REST controller. So just one method, public void send message. Okay, so at the rate get mapping, and as of now I'll say return message sent successfully, semicolon. Okay, so this should be string. So from here, when the request reaches this sends message or this get mapping, then we have to send a message, send a direct message to the users. To do that, what I'll do, I'll create one more class which is service. Hello, not hello, message producer. So I'll mark it with _service. Okay, Control Shift O. And I'll write one method called send message, public void send message. Okay, how to send a message? So to do that, we have given with one template called rabbit template. Okay, so we have to auto wire this at the rate auto wire. Control Shift O. AUTO, sorry, what's that? At the rate auto wire. So using this template, we have to send a message. Template dot. We have different method, convert and send. This is commonly used method. So what we'll do, we'll use this particular method. Exchange, what type of exchange you have to pass, and what is the routing key, and what is the message you want to send. So basically exchange, routing key, and the message you want to send. I'll change it to message. So we'll take the parameters here: string exchange, string routing key, and string message. Okay, so basically now we are done with one service. We can use this particular service to send message from here, or you can directly write in the controller itself the same set of code, or you can separate it in another class, embed in another class. Okay, what we'll do, to send message we have to have a message producer object, message producer. We have to auto wire the rate auto wired. Okay, so using this producer we'll send a message, producer dot send message. So basically, as we are demonstrating the direct message, direct exchange, we have to use the direct exchange. What type of exchange it is? So we'll be using the direct exchange. What is the, consider you want to send message to which queue. So as of now we are writing the direct exchange. We want to send message to this particular queue, which is SNG queue. So what we'll do, what is the routing key for that particular queue? What we have given routing key for this particular queue, s.n.gq.rk, which is same in this one, s.n.gq.rk for this SNG queue. Same thing I'll be mentioning here. What is the routing key and what is the message you want to deliver? I'll say direct message received. Okay, fine. Now we are done with creating exchanges and creating queues, and here is binding with exchange. We'll see, as of now first we'll see what is, how to code the direct exchange. As I have mentioned earlier, direct exchange is kind of one-to-one. So you can send message to either one queue at a time, whether to SNG queue or to HFG queue or to BFG queue, based on the routing key. Which means when you're sending currently from the home controller, what you're sending from the home controller, you're sending it to, you're using direct exchange and you're sending it to this router key. So this routing key is associated with SNG queue, so it will be sent to SNG queue. So now we are till here, we have done this part. Okay, now we have to write receiver. Okay, someone has to be there to listen to this particular queue, right? For that we need to write receiver. As we have decided earlier, we'll be using user1 for receiving messages from SNG queue. Let us go ahead and write user1. So I'll just write one more class called message consumer, and I'll mark it as Spring Boot application, and this should receive a message. Okay, public void receiver. So for the SNG queue, what we are sending, what is the type of the message we are sending? The type of the message is string. Okay, you can send object as well. Currently we are using only string, so the method parameter should be string message received. Okay, and same I'll print this out. Message received to user1, which is SNGQ. Okay, what is the message received? So currently we are sending direct message as a message received. Okay, now we are done with it. Let us go back. As we are sending direct, here is this relates to user 1, and what is the message we are sending from the message controller? Direct message received. Okay, in the consumer there is one more annotation which should say I'm listening to this particular queue from RabbitMQ. For that, what you have to do is rabbit listener. Okay, and what is the queue we have decided to use for user 1 is SNGQ. So what is the name we have given for SNGQ? This is the name we have given for SNGQ. So which queue you have to mention? QUE use queues is equal to this one. Okay, now we are done with the receiver. So let us go ahead and write the same consumer in other two users. So I have written the same consumer, message consumer, but this one for the user 2, this one we have decided to use which queue? Hollywood queue. Okay, so let us go ahead and write it, which is Hollywood queue is HFGQ. Okay, nothing else will be changing. This should be user 2 and which will be listening to HFGQ. Okay, in the same way we have to write for user 3 as well. What we have decided is Bollywood queue user 3 will be listening to. Yeah, this is user 2, right? So user 3 we have to go. User 3, I'll copy paste this message consumer, and this should be listening to BFGQ, which is user 3 BFGQ. Okay, so now we are ready with all the receivers and the sender. Okay, let us go ahead and just run this application. For this I will just open dashboard, Spring Boot dashboard. Okay, I'll just move it downwards. Yeah, let's move it downwards. So here let me start the sender. Let's say restart. Okay, now the message sender is started already. Let us go to RabbitMQ, which we have seen earlier, which is localhost 15672. Okay, so directly log me in. So as you can see, when I hit localhost 8080, when I hit localhost 8080, it says message sent successfully. Okay, so if you go to here in the exchanges part, as you can see, direct message is created. This is the exchange which we have designed there. You no need to create from RabbitMQ console. When you do that in Java Spring Boot application, when you run it, it will be automatically created for you, this exchange, and here are the queues which is created. So if you keep on requesting, so I'll be keep on requesting to this message sender, so that this, if you refresh here, see this message queue will be filled up with the messages we have sent, which is it will be filled with direct messages which we are sending in from the home controller. As you can see, where is the home controller? Sorry, message controller. See, when every time user clicks enter, the direct message will be direct message received. So this will be sent to the direct message queue. That is what here it is showing. So now we are in the exchanges, direct exchange, which is associated with all the three queues. So we'll go ahead and see in SNGQ, which is a direct message we are sending to this queue, is filled with lot of messages. Because why it is filled with lot of messages? User 1 we didn't start yet. We haven't started the user 1 yet. So As you can see here, only the message sender will be keep on sending to the message queue. The message queue will accumulate all those messages. Once you start the user one, which is listening to SNG queue, which is here. So as we have decided earlier, SNG queue will be sending messages to user one. Once you start this application, all those messages will be delivered. As it is offline, it is still sitting in a queue. Once we restart this, as you can see from the console, see, all the messages will be delivered. Okay, and if you go back to RabbitMQ queue, all the messages which we have sent should be sent, and this queue will be 0. Okay, so when it is offline, as you see, it will be accumulated in the queue. You send message now. I'll just clear the console for you, just to make sure we are in right way you're doing. So I'll send a message now. I'll hit enter. The request is sent to RabbitMQ. Now as you can see, user 1 is up. It will be sent directly to the user 1. See, it will be sent directly to the user 1. If it is user 1 is down, it will be listed here. It will be accumulated here. When the user 1 comes back online, it will be sent to the user 1. Okay, now this is how direct queue works. Consider if you want to send, so let us start other two, user 2 and user 3 as well. I'll just restart it. Okay, from the console here you can observe where you are in user 3. If you switch here, just click on this, it will switch to message sender, it will switch to user 1, something like this. I'll just clear consoles of all. So now all the queues are up. Okay, what we'll do now, we had sent message to SNG queue. Okay, let us go ahead and send message to HFG queue. To do that, I have explained earlier, you have to change in the controller. So what you have to change? Only this. So routing key you have to change. Let us go back and see what is the routing key for the HFG queue. This is a HFG queue. Routing key is this. I'll change. Go to the message controller, change the routing key. Okay, just save it. Okay, once you save, Spring Boot application will be restarted. Clear. So user 2 is listening to which queue? HFG queue. So HFG queue is associated with the user 2. So if I send message from here, it should not reach user 1, it should reach to user 2. Okay, hit enter. As user 2 is online, it will be sent directly. So we'll go back and see where we have received message. So as you can see, user 3 is received. Why it happened? Let's see, user 1 and user 2. Sorry, this might be the old message. Let us go back and clear all the messages. Okay, so now this also I'll clear. See, as you can see here, user 1, user 2, user 3, everything is cleared. Let me go back and send another message. And as you can see, user 3 is receiving. Why user 3 is receiving? Because I think we have given user 3 will be listening to BFGQ. Okay, and what is the mistake what we have done? So this will be listening to BFGQ and user 2 will be listening to HFGQ, correct, and user 1 will be listening to SNGQ. This is also correct. And what is in the message what we have done? We have given the routing key for HFGQ We'll go back and see in the Rabbit controller, see what we have done. We have done a mistake of giving HFGQ routing key for both the queues. So let us go back and change this to BFGQ. Save this. Okay, I'll clear all these things. Okay, now let us go back and send a request. I'm sending the request. So basically it should reach to user 2. As you can see, this is the user 2 and it reaches the user 2. Go to user 3. I think it's an old message. I'm sorry for these mistakes. This is old message, I guess. Request is sent. User 2 received message. User 3 also received message. Why haven't saved it? RabbitMQ. Okay, I think I know what is the problem, because this RabbitMQ is now associated with the queues, and as you can see, BFGQ. So BFGQ is binded with this exchange. Let us go back to see exchange, and this exchange binded with this will go to the queues. So BFGQ is binded with what is the key? Both the keys. So basically BFGQ should not bind with this key. We have to unbind it. So now it is saved. Okay. Now we'll go back and send the message again. So we'll clear the console of everything. Okay, now everything is closed. Let's see your luck now. Okay, user 2 received the message. As you can see, user 3 didn't receive. Message sender did not receive. That is a sender. User 1 did not receive. Only user 2 received a message. In the same way, if you want to send to user 3, which listens to BFGQ, just change the routing key in the controller. Okay, so as I've explained earlier, so it will be directly go to the ports group. This is direct exchange. So let us go ahead and see what is fanout exchange. So as I said earlier, fanout exchange does not use the routing key. When it comes to fanout exchange, it duplicates all the messages and sends to the all the queue. Okay, let us go ahead and see what we'll do. We'll just change direct exchange to fanout exchange. So in here we don't have any fanout exchange. Overview exchanges. So direct exchange only is there. Let us go ahead and change to fanout. Okay, I might fan out. So fan out exchange, it should be changed to fan out. So fan out exchange, we have changed this. So here also we have to change direct message to fan out exchange. Fan out exchange, fan out exchange, fan out exchange. As I said, explained in my previous tutorial, fan out exchange does not depend on the routing key. So there is no need to pass the routing key. Okay. Let us go back and remove the routing key. We'll keep it. We need for topic exchange. So we'll just copy paste this everywhere. Okay, great. Now we have created the fan out exchange. Click on save. Now it is restarted. Let us go back to our message controller, which is a REST controller. Here we are saying direct exchange. We have to change it to fan out, FANOUT. And the routing key, no need. As I explained earlier, there is no need of routing key. I just remove it. And what is the message you want to send? Fan out. So I'll just save this. So now from the fan out, what should happen? When I send a request, it should send to all the queues. I'll go back, just clear the console of all. So this is direct exchange. I'll change this. Okay. So let us go ahead and hit enter here. When I hit enter, a new exchange will be created, fan out exchange, and queues will be same as I explained earlier. The fan out exchange is also binded with all the three queues. Okay, there is no routing key required. I've explained you in detail about that in my previous tutorial. So let us go back and see who are all got the messages. As you can see, user 1 also got the messages, user 2 also got the message, and user 3 also got the message. This is the purpose of using fan out exchange. Okay, now we are done with the fan out exchange. Let us go ahead and see what is topic exchange. Okay, so little bit changes we have to do for the fan out topic exchange. As I explained earlier, topic exchange completely depends on the routing key and its patterns. So I'll quickly explain. When you send the routing key, if you give star, A matches with star, fine. F matches with star, fine. And GQ matches with star, fine. RK matches with RK, it is fine. So this message will be, when you send a message, it will be sent here. In the same way, it will match this pattern. If pattern is matched, it will be sent here. So these two messages, sorry, queues will receive a message, and as this doesn't match with this, so it won't be sent. Okay, so these two only will receive message now, which is user 2 and user 3. Okay, we'll use the same pattern in the routing keys. We'll go back and we'll change the fan out. I'll just clear the console here in all the okay, great. So what we have to do now, we have to change from fan out to topic. Okay, great. Now we'll change the exchange name to topic. So now topic is changed. So let us go back and change the topic exchange. Everywhere we have to change topic exchange. Topic exchange, basically this topic exchange need the routing key, so we'll uncomment the routing keys. So basically I have explained here. So routing keys will change it to patterns. Okay, which is, I'll change the pattern to star, and I'll change the pattern to star dot star. Okay, so from the controller, what we'll do, routing key we have to send, we can send anything. I'll say crave java dot, I'll just copy these two, crave java dot f dot I'll say gq dot rk. Okay, see crave java. So two things I'll be sending. First we'll see crave java dot f dot gq dot rk. When you will go to the RabbitMQ config, I'll just paste it here. See, crave java matches with star, yes. It matches with f, yes. GQ and RK matched, so it will be sent to the Hollywood queue. Crave java matched, yes. F matched, yes. GQ matched, yes, because there is a star, and RK is also matched. So all the pattern matched for this queue and this queue. So I'll just remove this and I'll just click on save. Let it restart. So I've restarted everything. No console messages. Okay, let us go back. So as we don't have topic exchange now, when I hit enter, topic exchange will be created. Topic exchange will be created, and click on this. It will be binded with this. So BFGQ is binded with this routing key. HFGQ is bonded with this one and this one. What we are sending now, what we have sent now in the request, we have sent crave java dot f dot gq dot rk. As we have seen earlier, it should send to only these two, Hollywood queue and Bollywood queue, who are associated with user 1 and user 2 and user 3. We'll see the console now. Go to console. So user 1 received, user 2 received, user 3 received. So basically we have done some mistake here. So we'll see in the controller what we have done. Any mistakes? Yes, here it should be topic exchange instead of fan out exchange. Okay, topic, and this should be basically anything. It can be anything. So what I'll do, I'll just say crave java f.abc.rk, and this should be topic exchange. Okay, so basically this will match with, as you can see here, we'll go to RabbitMQ config. So we'll see. So this crave java star, it matches for both. F, it matches for both. Here abc we have, abc does not match with any of these, I mean not match with gq, so it will not be routed here. It will match with this, and rk matches with this. Okay, so it will be routed to only this. Let's go ahead and save this. And we'll clear all the consoles. So we have few consoles, clear. Okay, now we are cleared. We'll just go to localhost 8080 and send message. So as we have analyzed, only user 3 should receive a message. So rest of them did not receive a message because of the routing key pattern. So let us go ahead and change this to GQ. So if we copy this, just paste this here, crave java, here star, it matches both. F, it matches both. GQ, it matches both. RK, it matches both. In this case, what should happen? Both the Q should receive message. Okay, let me just save this and clear the console. Let it load. Let's clear this. Nothing is there. Clear. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit enter. So now the request has been sent. As you can see, user 2 received, user 3 received, and user 1 did not receive. Okay, so now this is how. So this is how this topic exchange works. Okay, so now we are done with the topic exchange. Let us see header exchanges. So I'm not going to write code anything for the header exchanges. You go ahead and try it out. If you find any difficulty, let me know. I'll create another video for this, or I'll try to fix your issues in the comment section. So please let me know if you have any questions and anything. So also you just go to RabbitMQ console and explore these things. Okay, so this is basically, recently we have sent messages and received message, right? That's why this particular graph is moving. So just try to find out what are all the things are there, exchanges and queues and everything in this view. Okay, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you.